Hi folks, Canadian Prepper here. I just want to draw your attention to something that hasn't been getting a lot of airplay in the independent media lately, or on the mainstream media for that matter. And it's these Brazilian riots in the state of Espírito Santo, which is a small state. I believe it's in the southeastern part of Brazil. And what's happened here is that the police have went on strike. Brazil has its share of issues, corruption, high crime rates, stuff like that. But for the most part, it is a relatively developed country. So, I mean, if this can happen there, this can pretty much happen anywhere. So, I think over the past 4 days, they're estimating that 90 people have been killed and 200 lootings have been committed. This is Al Jazeera that I'm reading here, so I'm not really sure what they're classifying as a looting, but based on the footage that I've seen, and I'm going to post a link in the description, this footage is pretty crazy. I mean, it looks like it's something out of the Purge, and normally I don't comment too much on current events, but I figured that this was quite relevant considering, you know, the severity and with all our talk about grid down, without rule of law, this is something that could take shape, particularly in America. This is how quickly things can get out of control. Within 4 days, the homicide rate has gone up 650%, and that's just what's being reported. Now, since then, the military has been brought in, and this isn't a small state. I believe there's about 4 million people within this state, and it's a very small state geographically speaking. It is probably a high population density, so you're getting like street battles. There's all kinds of footage of people shooting each other in the streets, carjackings, just mass looting, you know, people being pulled out of their vehicles, being beaten. It's a pretty serious situation. Now, the military has been called in. I believe they sent in 1,000 soldiers, and they're saying that that's not sufficient, so they're wanting that to be increased, and I think they are going to increase this. But this is something you should probably look into if you want to get a sense of what could happen in lots of American cities, especially the ones where there's lots of poverty and lots of crime already. You can pretty much bet that that is going to be magnified. So this is what without rule of law is going to look like, and this is just the first 4 days, and this is rather consistent with the whole idea of 9 meals away from anarchy. And as far as I can see, a lot of these people aren't looting stuff that they need. They're still in that phase where they're looting on the basis of their wants. You know, they're looting TVs, that kind of thing. They're not looting food. So just imagine if there was actually deprivation thrown into the mix, how bad and how widespread this disaster would become. And the reason why the police are going on strike is that they feel that they're underpaid, they're overworked, and the working conditions aren't that great. Obviously, they feel like they're poorly equipped to do the jobs that they're doing. And as we approach these times of austerity, you know, you're going to see more and more of this, not just in these developing countries. Brazil is, as much as it's a developed country, it's still developing in certain areas. There's definitely a large discrepancy between rich and poor there. So yeah, you're going to see more and more of this. So stay prepped, stay ready. Don't forget, the strong survive, the prepared thrive. Thanks for watching. Canadian Prepper out.